Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to Hoops and Brews. Um, the homie Joe will be joining me in a second. But right now it's just me. But just wanted to do a little preview pod before obviously the NBA conference finals start, the final four. And the NBA is here. I think this is a very, very interesting year because I guess it could possibly be a changing. Well, I think it already is a changing of the guard, but it could possibly really be a changing of the guard when you look at some of these matchups. And I think this year, this whole everything right now is just completely wide open. I don't have an idea I don't have a strong idea about who's gonna win. I have suggestions, but I wouldn't be shocked if any of these teams ended up pulling it off. So yeah, I mean let's get into it. Let me hold on. Let me go ahead tweet the link out for everybody else real quick one time. Um all right, all right. All right. If anybody hasn't joined, join in. And I see the homie is here. So let's get into it. The fuck? My screen froze for a quick second. So if y'all saw that, that was me trying to undo my screen because my screen froze for a quick second. But yeah, back on Hoops and Brews. Welcome back. The homie Joe. How you feeling, bro?
What's good, man? I'm pretty good. What about you?
I am fine. Now that my screen is unfroze. I am great. First thing I want to talk about,
What's
because
up?
obviously, um, I don't know if anybody expected this to go the way it went, but put the graphic up. First of all, I want to talk about where do the Suns go from here. But first of all, what the hell happened to the Phoenix Suns in Game 7 against the Dallas Mavericks? Now, I will say the last pod told you I did not expect the Suns to win that basketball game. I thought the Suns would lose the game if it went to Game 7. To me, I thought Game 6 was the Suns' Game 7 because I thought the Suns were in a very unique situation where it's like, yeah, you have the quote unquote better team, but the better player by far is. And then you was like, do we really know if? Yes, we do. The better player by far is on the other basketball team, and you didn't want a situation in which you go into a game 7, anything can happen. You saw anything happen. Then in this game, they just couldn't hit shots. Couldn't make anything. They had 27 American basketball points at halftime. Luka had 27 and the Suns had 27. Um, what the hell happened to the Phoenix Suns? And also, where do the Phoenix Suns go from here? Like, well, obviously they have a lot of questions coming up. Chris Paul is 38 years old. He's gonna be 38. He's only getting older. Aiden has a contract situation this summer. He's a he is a restricted free agent, but you still don't know whether or not he will for sure be back. Um, so yeah, where do they go from here?
Started off just from game seven, pretty much everything that could have
Went
went
wrong.
wrong in that game. Like it was just all around just a flat out just disgraceful performance. And I mean, the DA, even his beef, you saw like he was beefing with Monty. That even flared up a little bit. Chris Paul did not return the call at all. He kept up his bad play for pretty much the entire series. Devin Booker was a no show. Cam Johnson wasn't doing nothing. Mikal Bridges wasn't producing nothing. It was just an all out hell, and they lit up Twitter. They lit up the basketball world, but it was just bad. And then moving forward, where they go, I mean, I don't. It depends on what they do, what they end up deciding to do with Aiden. I think they I'm not the biggest Aiden guy, but I think they probably should maybe try to keep him just because like Chris Paul's on the older side, so why would you side towards the older dude over a younger guy
Yeah.
like that? I just don't see how that makes much sense, especially in the near future. Um, but and they can come back. I mean, even this year, like a lot of this team would kind of plug and play. Like when certain guys went down, they'd still be really good. So I mean, even without Aiden, they can for another couple of years if they like find another backup center that side. Like we saw when Aiden wasn't playing this year, guys like Biombo, JaVale stepped in, and they played the five pretty well in the system with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and the Monty Williams offensive system that's very unselfish. But it's just moving forward. I think what I think they should do, they should probably do whatever they can to bring Aiden back. If they can't bring him back, maybe sign and trade for. But usually signing trades are so one sided though. It's just a bunch of weaker assets. But they can try to get maybe a star or maybe superstar caliber player in return for Aiden. It got to
That's
kind of
not happening.
maybe
It's
at
not
all.
happening. No,
If it's
it's
not
not
happening,
happening.
if it's not happening, you gotta try to keep him there. You can't just let him walk.
I
You
think the
got to.
Suns. I think the Suns in a very particular situation because for one, I don't think one even in this series, what I would see happen too many times. I know you're not the biggest Aiden fan, but it's too many times in which I would see them go through offensive droughts and Aiden wouldn't touch the ball. Again, you have a high percentage player who shoots 55%. Gee, if we swinging the ball around, and obviously Chris Paul was clearly hampered. I know they said he had a quad injury or whatever he had, but regardless, he was clearly hampered. So if he's not going to go out there, if he's not going to score, if he's just going to, and even his playmaking wasn't, he's just, it's like the quad injury is one thing, but I saw too many times it was Chris Paul tried to jump pass. I don't really remember Chris Paul ever jump passing. To me, jump passing means you are very indecisive about what you're trying to do. And it was like dumb jump pass. Like he would jump and then throw it behind him. Like, bro, what? Like he just looked completely out of sorts. So I don't want to fully blame that on the quad. He just looked completely out of sorts. Maybe his age finally caught up to him. Obviously, I think the Dallas Mavericks did a very good job of making him have to guard.
Yeah, he made
Like
him work on defense.
they
Definitely.
made him have to guard Luka. They made him have to guard Brunson. And then on the other end, even when a guy like Frank Ntilikina came in the game, he played great defense on both Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I mean, you even saw in the last series when you had Jose Alvarado guarding him. The thing about Jose Alvarado is now they're trying to get 25 points. So even though he's guarding you on the other end on offense, you still get to rest a little bit because he's not out there trying to give you 30. Luka, Jalen Brunson, even a Spencer Dinwiddie, you saw in Game 7, is a guy who they can all give you 30. So they did a great job of making him have to guard. So maybe he was tired, but there was just no excuse for the way that I saw him play in this series, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
I'm saying if he was injured, why are you out there? Like
Yeah,
Chris
like
Paul,
why sit down, bro? You don't have to be there, dog.
you're a clear liability to your team. Like
Sit down.
it's torture. Like it's just I don't know. It's just bad. I don't know. The Suns like they could go from being one of like the NBA's best stories over the past 2 years, obviously what the Founders ran last year, and the 64-win season this year, right back to a disaster very quick if they don't come up with something in the near future to shake something up or bring Aiden. I don't. But yeah, it's just and the West is only getting tougher.
The
But
West is only getting tougher.
they gotta make decisions quick, or they're gonna go right back to being a disaster. They had a great 2-year run. But we'll
I
see
don't
what.
think they'll go back to being a disaster because again, regardless of what Devin did, in Game 7, I do still think you can't name 15 or 20 basketball players better than Devin Booker. I know I said I'm not the biggest Devin Booker fan, but I'm not gonna sit up here and say that like you can name 15 or 20 basketball players better than Devin Booker. Do I think he is a superstar? No, no. But like I said, I don't think you can name 15 or 20 players better than Devin Booker. And I don't think as long as you can keep DeAndre Ayton. But I think keeping DeAndre Ayton is a very hard thing. And also, if I'm Ayton, like the part of the reason why he might have been beefing with the coach is how much do you want me to set screens, roll, do all this stuff, and not get the ball and not get no plays called for me? Like it's only so much rebounding and and they want to switch me on Luka. I gotta try to guard Luka. You want me to rebound, and then you don't give me no chicken on the other end. Devin out there dribbling, Chris Paul out there.
You get some chicken.
It was like, bro, I saw too many times. It was Jay Crowder was taking like 5 shots in the first 10 minutes of every game. Shout out Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder should not be taking 5 shots in the first 10 minutes of every game. I saw Jay Crowder putting the ball on the floor. Way more than I've ever seen Jay Crowder putting the ball on the floor.
I feel you, but you come to Aiden, you can't. His matchup was who? Dwight Powell for the majority of that series. You can't let Dwight Powell. You cannot let Dwight Powell play on at a sort of similar level to you. You gotta insert your dominance, and you gotta, I'm a number 1 pick. I need I'm looking for max money. You gonna feel me. You feel me? I'm gonna like throw some elbows in your chest. We're gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna pull some boards. You see, Looney grabbed 22 boards in Game 6 last series.
Looney did grab 22 boards in Game 6.
Aiden got to be able to do something like that. You got to be able to.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, Aiden, the only thing I would say in DeAndre Ayton's defense, is that like the shots the Grizzlies taking and the shots that the Mavericks take are completely different. Shoot so many threes that a lot of these balls bounce wherever they bounce. So in his defense, I will say that I'm looking to see what DeAndre Ayton averaged in the playoffs. I should probably do it off my phone so my computer doesn't freeze. But I'm really looking to see what he averaged in these playoffs, more so in this series, because of the fact, again, I just think too many times they don't they and you can get away with that when Chris Paul is, when Chris Paul is being regular Chris Paul. But when Chris Paul is not being regular Chris Paul, and you don't have any other scoring, that's the thing about the Suns. They really don't have any other scoring. Like when you look at their roster, right? You see Mikal Bridges, you see Cam Johnson. All these guys are guys who need opportunities created for them. If you even
That's
want
right.
to talk, if you talk about this, like Mikal Bridges, need to go get some shimmies, especially if they're gonna play like that. He need to go get some shimmies.
Yeah, he definitely limited their offense. Like a part of the only thing that was the Suns will be relying on for this playoff run is pretty much the growth of Mikal Bridges and maybe the growth of Cam Johnson. I was kind of thinking that maybe they would take another step forward, but it looks like they're still sort of those same limited offensive players who they kind of excel more in the regular season. But when times get tough in the postseason, when you really need some extra help, they don't got it for you. They don't. They looking at you like you crazy. They looking at you like, oh, you need me to get a bucket right here, D Book.
I mean, I'm even look. I'm even like looking at Agent stats, right? Obviously, outside of Game 7, which he played 17 minutes in. Game 6, he played 30 minutes. This is not the plus minus. This is just basic stats. He had 21 points, 10 for 16 from the field, 11 rebounds. That's pretty sure that's over 50%. That's like I think probably 60%. Then the next game, he 20 points, 9 of 13 from the field, over 50%. The next game, but the game after that, well, before that, 14 for 17. Oh, no, 7 for 12. 14 points, 11 rebounds. That's over 50%. Game, what's this
Yeah, I hope
game?
he's shooting over
4.
50%. He's shooting
I'm
right
just
next to
saying,
the rim.
all of these things are over. They're over 50%. I'm pretty sure he shot over 50% for the whole series.
It should be.
I'm
That's
pretty
not
sure
nothing.
Devin Booker did not.
That's
I'm
something to
pretty
talk
sure.
about.
I'm pretty sure Chris Paul did not. So
They
my
should.
only thing is like, bro, if you got a guy who is missing maximum 4 shots per game, and you are going through ruts in which you're struggling to score, will you not agree? The Suns had times in this series in which they actually struggled to score the basketball.
That's true.
If you have
And
a guy who's only missing 4 shots, in those times when you get in those runs and you struggle to score, you have to run some offense for him.
I've seen him get him the ball, and he either smokes a layup or he either passes it right back to him. He don't got that dog in him. He
You
is
have
not
to.
one of those guys who really want the ball and want to be aggressive with it and want to kill you right there. It's not. It's just not in him. You don't
I
see him.
can't say that because even the year before Chris Paul came, he averaged 18 and 12, which is basically 20 points.
That's not. That's
what you mean?
no. 18. How much you having for the series? That
No.
was that. I don't.
No.
If he
I'm
consistently,
saying a year before Chris Paul came, he averaged, if I'm not mistaken, 18 and 12. As a rookie, he even averaged 16 points. So clearly the man can score the ball. Do I think that Aiden is some 30-point per game scorer? No, I do not. But I do think Aiden can give you, again, if this is the situation where they let DeAndre Aiden go, the one thing that I think that they should do is let the market dictate Aiden's value.
if I'm not that's fair. That makes sense. Whatever to see what it's looking like. To see the San Antonio, the Magic, what they're gonna throw at them, and then they
go
have
ahead.
the option to match. Obviously, they
Yes.
have the option to match it. So I mean, that makes more sense.
And if he goes somewhere else, he's going to average 20 and 10. He's going to average 20 and 10 no matter where he goes. If he goes to the Spurs, he is a 20 and 10 player. And we're probably shooting 52% for the field.
It's still not gonna make the All-Star team.
I mean, because in the West it's kind of hard to make the All-Star team. Like the West is pretty fucking loaded.
I don't think he make it in the East either.
The East is pretty loaded. The big man, but that don't mean he won't be a very very, very good addition to whatever team he goes to. But moving along from the Suns and whatever debacle that was on Sunday, I have to pose this question.
What's up?
Is Luka Doncic the best player in basketball?
If we going based off, I mean, honestly, look, it's about to get Luka Doncic versus the Warriors. Steph Curry is literally one of the greatest Western Conference Finals performers in NBA history. So I mean, we get to see what happens here. I'm not gonna take Luka Doncic over already proven playoff performer Stephen Curry. I'm not doing that. We'll see. We have to wait to see after the series. Maybe I could end up regretting saying this, but I'm not gonna take him over proven. We've seen Steph Curry battle Harden. We've seen him battle Durant, Westbrook in these Western Conference Finals. Who was we seen him battle the Grizzlies. We'd already seen him like knock off plenty of the successful top five, top 10 players in the same setting, and I don't see why it wouldn't happen now. He here to chatter. I'm pretty sure. I mean, but I can't give him that crown just yet. He's playing against already a guy who's pretty much at his peak right now.
Is he?
Not, he's averaging 27 and like 4 and like 6 for this playoff run. And he's pretty much like he's well rested right now, coming off of obviously didn't make the playoffs last
Yeah.
year and didn't make the playoffs the year before that. So I mean, I think pretty much for the most part. So I mean, I just got to see him go head to head with one of the. If you go head to head with this all time great top 15, top 10 player of all time to most people, and you do that again, you could probably get that. But let's see what pretty much the guy who's already been holding it down got in store for him.
Um, in I don't want to say he's the best player in basketball. I'm not gonna go there yet, but I will listen to the discussion. Like when we reconvene next season, and when we make our top list, I don't know how I can put 3 people ahead of Luka Doncic.
3?
I don't know how I can put 3 people ahead of yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know how to do that.
only one that's like probably you would put over him,
Giannis.
honestly, probably Giannis.
Giannis. Like ignoring what Giannis what happened with the Bucks. Clearly what happened with the Bucks was they just didn't have enough. Like without Chris Middleton, they just physically did not have enough to win that series. They like even though Giannis is Giannis, Middleton is still probably their best half court scoring threat. When things get tough, you can see too many times they just struggle to get buckets, or they would give Giannis the ball and like y'all had charge at some people, and it's like
And did
so.
you see how Al Horford did a heck of a job on Giannis last series? Just
I'm,
obviously Giannis got his numbers, but
yeah,
see,
but Al
Horford was
Horford did a
right.
great job
He was picking them bowls. He was like he was
for
right
sure,
there. Like
for sure,
he took all that physicality like right to the chest and
for
like was
sure.
like, "What's good? I'm here." That's why like this he even though Bam is a monster, he gets a huge breath of fresh air going from Giannis to Bam. So it's
To
like
Bam.
I feel like he would do a great job of kind of neutralizing Bam, and that's why I'm going with the Celtics. I know it's a whole different conversation, but that's why I'm going
We'll
with
get
the
into
Celtics.
it,
But
but
yeah, that's. Mhm.
but yeah, the only person I'll probably put above him when we reconvene next year is yeah, Giannis. Like when I look at what Luka is doing, I think defensively he even had more steals than Chris Paul. Like he's not obviously.
More steals and Bridges last series.
Yeah, like obviously if you put Luka in space because of his lateral movement, there are some things that he can't do. But he's a damn good rebounder.
It's true.
He's big, number one. So even if he
Yeah.
has to switch and he has to switch on the big, he can hold his own. I mean, you saw it with Rudy, you saw it with Aiden when he would switch onto Aiden. Sometimes he would, hold his own.
It's
So
because Aiden just don't got no money.
oh
Aiden not
no,
that
no,
fast.
no, no,
That's
no,
the
no.
like if you can't feed Aiden on Luka Doncic, don't talk to me about Aiden.
No, I just think that Luka. No, I just think that Luka's a big body.
Um,
Like, nah, I think Luka is a big body. And he's deceptively strong. Like when you look at him, at least on TV, he like it's
mhm.
not like he's super chiseled, so he doesn't look like he's just he don't look like Giannis. Like Giannis look like okay, he's pushing people around, but Luka big as hell. I mean, did you see the way they was flying off him? Mikal Bridges flying off him,
Yeah,
Book
yeah.
flying off him,
Cam
Cam
was right
Johnson
there
flying
at the
like
rim.
flying off of
Yeah.
him. He put his head flying off of him. So, and again, and I mean, look, we all better hope he never shoots above 38% from the 3-point line.
He could get to that. I feel like he
Unless
could get to that with no problem.
because that's the only quote unquote weakness I can see in this game is the fact that he does shoot about 32% from the 3-point line. But if he ever gets to about 40%, God bless the world. God bless the world. So again, I won't say definitively yes, he's the best player in basketball, but I will listen to the discussion. And again, when we reconvene next year, depending on what happens in this series, depending on what happens, I mean, if somebody goes to the finals and wins the finals, that's a whole nother different, complete discussion. But when we reconvene next year, still the only person that I will be 1,000% comfortable putting over Luka will be Giannis, and that's just a fact because I think Giannis can be the best offensive and the best defensive player on the court. I don't think Luka can be the best defensive player on the court, but I don't think he'll always have to be a defensive negative on the court. So I won't say yes, but I will say I will listen to the discussion. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. Yeah, that's fair to say.
But let's break down the actual series. Warriors, Mavericks. series preview. I can't say I didn't expect this before the playoffs started, but I will say I'm not shocked. I remember I think we even had a pod earlier when I was like, the conference finals going to end up being Mavericks Grizzlies, and we could be like, what the hell? So I'm not shocked the Mavericks are here, just because, I mean, even when I looked at uh before the playoffs started, I just thought that in any series that they could be in against anybody, Luka could be the best person on the court. And you can't ever discount what can happen when you have the best player on the court on your team. But Warriors Mavericks series preview, how do you see it going? What should we look for?
Kind of like how you talked about on Twitter, we're going to see a lot of Luka. He get hunting out Jordan Poole, hunting out Clay, hunting out Steph. It's going to be a really good series. Two really good offensive teams. Two teams who can kind of convert to. I don't know. The Mavericks don't play too much small ball, but they can if they want to put like a Dorian Finney-Smith at the five to maybe counter Draymond at the five. But it's going to be a heck of a series. I'm going with the Warriors because of their experience and because of their firepower. You kind of you like to play Klay Thompson a lot, but he's tied for most threes in the playoffs so far this year.
That's
Klay
fair.
Thompson he's doing his thing. The thing about this series is I think it's gonna be a lot of rely on Draymond. I hate how Draymond, you notice how he plays him out of losses, he'll catch the ball and he'll just like immediately look to pass, or he'll catch it. He won't even look at the rim. Like Draymond, like he was a lot more aggressive in Game 6, the win over the Grizzlies, and if he has to do that every night. I hate how he really holds their offense up when he's out there and not looking to score at all. It's kind of pathetic, and if he can't get more aggressive like for a consistent series, it could get nasty for the Warriors. But I feel like it's going to be a lot on him because I know they're going to send a lot of blitzes and double teams at Curry. So Draymond's going to have to be able to react and make decisions, make some open threes, make some layups, get other people involved. It's going to have a lot to do with him. Also, I think Steph got to go and remind people. Like I said earlier on the podcast, he's literally one of the greatest Western Conference performers in NBA history, up there with the Magics, the Kobe's of the world, the Dirks, Durant's, all the great conference performers we've seen in the past. So it's going to be up to him to have another one of those performances. If it's still in the tank for Steph, he got to show it. Clay got to hit. And then as far as for Dallas goes, they got to do a good job. They got to keep Steph moving around. They got to keep going after those guys. They got to get their role players involved. Obviously, I know they don't shoot the ball that well usually when they're not at home, but they're gonna have to get those guys. Finney-Smith is gonna have to hit some threes. Brunson's gonna have to get going. Who else do they got over there in Dallas? Kleber's gonna have to play some good basketball. But I'm looking forward to a heck of a more of an offensive related series. But we're gonna see. I'm going Warriors in either 6 or 7. I'm probably gonna say 7. I'm gonna go Warriors in 7.
I'm gonna go Mavericks in 6. My thing, okay. One thing I think Steph, Poole, Clay, Wiggins, all those guys. One, I think foul trouble is going to be an issue because Luka's going to match up Hunt. I think foul trouble might be an issue for a guy like Steph, or even a guy like Jordan Poole, even a guy like Wiggins. I think that could be one thing that may hamper them in this series. But I'm not really looking at Luka, and I'm more so looking at Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie. Right? Like, I don't think it's far-fetched for me to say that Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie could outplay Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole.
It's
I don't
neck
think
and neck. It's neck and neck.
I'm sorry. I don't think I like
It's close.
when I just look at strictly matchups, right? Just based on what I've seen. It like again, the Warriors haven't been world beaters. They did lose by 50 fucking points to the Memphis Grizzlies. Granted, again, sometimes some of those nights just happen, but they lost by 50 points to the Memphis Grizzlies. Even Game 6 was competitive. They lost the game, but Game 6 was competitive. One like they just came out there and steamrolled them after what happened. So when I just look at Dorian Finney-Smith and Andrew Wiggins, I think that could go either way. Dorian Finney not great. I don't expect Dorian Finney to have games in which he hit 10 threes every game, but didn't Dorian Finney-Smith have a game in which he hit like 10 threes?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna disrespect Wiggins like that.
No, that's not. No, it's not like no. Look,
Wiggins
I'm not.
outperforming Dorian Finney-Smith. That's not a given. That one, I could give you the Clay and Clay and Poole and Dinwiddie Brunson comparison, but I don't know about. I think Wiggins got to get that matchup for sure. Wiggins don't get that matchup, then we in the Warriors in hell. If what Wiggins make $28 million a year, if you can't outplay Dorian Finney-Smith, then they got some huge bigger problems on their hands. All-star starter Andrew Wiggins, you better outplay Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yes,
Um,
like yes, yes. I feel you, but again, I'm not talking about a situation where it's every single game. But I do think that we can, like, it might be a pivotal game 4, a pivotal game 5 that might swing the series, in which you may see a Dorian Finney-Smith, you may see a Maxi Kleber. Like, they have a lot of guys who are getting streaky, but you never know what night. And again, as long as Luka can get 1 or 2 guys to come along with him, that's
he's
all I'm
dangerous.
saying.
Oh, but yeah, as far as it's still live, so but yeah, that series is gonna be a heck of a series. I think ooh, it's oh, he said talk. But yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a series. Let's see if Steph can get going. We'll see what goes from there. I think Steph is gonna come out. He should come out blazing. I got high expectations for him. I know you hear all the chatter, y'all talking. Everybody's saying Luka is the guaranteed best player in this series. Luka this, Luka that. Steph Curry, he hears this stuff. We've seen in the past. He's responded to criticism before. I don't know if you noticed. He had a scoreless half back in versus Houston in the West Conference Finals a
Yeah,
couple years
yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then yeah,
Brian
he
very
said
big
he
point.
said he
But
checked.
what
Yeah,
happened was foul trouble though. It, like, literally in that series, I think that was in game 6. He picked
mhm.
up 3 quick fouls on Harden. Again, I think Steph has to main
Ooh.
thing stay out of foul trouble.
But that means they'll be familiar with what Houston with what Dallas is going to throw at them. All them years battling with Houston, Steve Kerr. I'm pretty sure they have a. They said I expect a very sharp game plan from Steve Kerr and the Warriors, and I expect them to be able to execute it. Especially with all the chatter and all of them barely squeaking away from Memphis the way they did. I think that hurt them a certain way, and I think they're familiar with the Dallas prototype. Luka Doncic is basically, honestly, he's basically 2018, 2019 Harden. Same
But a
same
bigger
thing.
version. But a bigger version, which is the thing, is a bigger version.
That don't shoot the ball as well.
It's debatable. Because what's no, it's not seriously. What's Harden highest percent from 3? Is it like 38 maybe?
His highest percent in his entire career. Let's
Yeah,
find
probably like
out.
38 in them years. And the thing about Luka is, like, I feel like he shoots better than 32%. I think he's streaking, but I feel like he shoots better than what his percentages say he shoots.
I mean, yeah, because you don't want to. You're not dying by a Luka three. I'm not. Especially you see some of those ways he hits them. Like he had like a spin step back three he hit on
Exactly.
somebody.
Like, if he get hot, like, he could very well go 7 for 12 from 3, and I'm not shocked. Like, when Luka shoots the ball, I'm never like, that's not going in. Sometimes I'm like, relax, and then it'll go in, but I'm never like, that's not going in.
I
What?
guess for Harden's career, he is a for his career for three, he is a 36% for his career. And in those 2018, 2019 years, he was 36, 36. Man,
Yeah,
but he
like,
was
it's not.
shooting a lot of games though. He was shooting how many
Yeah,
threes
but
a
don't
game?
Luka take, like, I mean, he don't take 13, but
Harden was shooting 13, yes,
yeah,
13 threes, 12
13 is
threes.
crazy. He don't take 13, but Luka take about, I think he take
Gee,
about, how many does he take?
Harden was a maniac.
Luka takes 8, basically. He
Yeah,
shot
that, yeah,
30.
that
Well, Luka shot 35% from 3 this year, 35% last year. In the playoffs so far, he's been taking fucking he whoa, wait. He shot 40% from 3 last year, taking 11 threes over 7
who
games. This year,
you talking about?
Luka.
Oh,
Last year he shot 40%, taking basically 11 threes a game. This year in the playoffs, he's shooting 34%, taking 9 threes a game, basically 10 threes a game. So they're about the same, and he's a bigger version. I just think, look, this could be a very, 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 very interesting series. And again, my eyes aren't so much on Luka Doncic because I know what Luka's gonna do. Like, nobody's gonna. I think that the Warriors have a more capable defenders for Luka. I think, even like Draymond. Like, Draymond is a guy, I think it's hard to knock around Draymond than it is Mikal. But even looking at their stature, it's harder to knock around Draymond. It's harder to knock around Clay. It's harder, maybe a little bit hard to knock around Wiggins. I don't know what's going on with Iggy at all. I don't even know if Iggy's gonna is Iggy even gonna play in this playoff run.
I don't think so.
I think
What
it's
was his
harder
issue?
to. I think he has like a neck issue. I think it's harder to
Oh,
knock around Otto Porter than what it would be to knock around Cam Johnson. So granted, I think that they can put up a little bit more resistance for him. Like I said, I'm not really looking at that. I'm looking at Jalen Brunson and I'm looking at Spencer Dinwiddie. And I think that game 7 was big for
for their confidence moving
yeah,
forward.
Facts, facts. So again, I'm personally going Warriors. No, Mavericks. In 6. Part of me is because I just want to see it happen. Like I wouldn't mind seeing but really like I wouldn't mind just seeing different teams in the finals. Like I wouldn't like again, I think that this generation of basketball could be going back to like the 70s when nobody really repeated. I don't think there were any repeat champions in the 70s. You had a couple of teams that made back-to-back finals like you did have the Sonics and the Bullets rematch that happened 2 years in a row, but nobody like won back-to-back finals. There was no dominant team. Even like as far as dominant players, a lot of people won MVP during that era. So I think we could be headed back to an era like that, kind of post super team era. But
You think
for the
so?
Mavericks, go ahead.
I was the post super team. I don't know. Once fucking Luka Doncic and Giannis end up on the same team, everybody can go right back to the whining thing. I mean, it just matters if the right combo get together. We going
I mean,
right
yeah,
back
the
into
Robbie.
it.
I mean, like, yeah, but
I mean,
but
it just ain't happened
but
yet.
granted, obviously, you usually don't see. But would you consider that a super team? Though to me, a super team is 3 or more guys.
Giannis and Luka on the same team.
I
That's
mean,
a
it's
super
like,
team.
but
And it's
like, do you consider Kobe and Shaq a super team?
yes.
I don't think it was a
Then
super
they
team.
then they go 16-0 or 16-1 in the
Yeah, but I
playoffs
don't
or
think it was a
16.
super team though.
You're a super. If you're capable of doing that, you're most definitely a super team.
To me, super team is 3 or more All NBA players or 3 or
Look,
more All Stars on the same team.
then why has there been teams with 3 or more All Stars who didn't produce as well as those two together? If they why didn't they produce as well as
Because
they did?
because
Because
they ain't
they weren't as
because they
good
not Kobe and
as
Shaq.
a team. Exactly.
They not
Those
Kobe
two
and
players
Shaq.
are good enough to drive a whole team, like just guaranteed championships
But
back to back.
also, but also, they did have really good complementary pieces, which is one thing I did want to say about the Mavericks. I know that people look at the roster, and I've heard people start to make the comparisons between the '07 Cavs and the Dallas Mavericks, or like, yo, what superstar should we pair with Luka? I think Luka has everything Luka needs to win with the way Luka plays the game of basketball.
Oh, that's a good point.
I think
That's a
Luka
good
has everything he needs to win. Like again, especially if Jalen Brunson can play like this, and if they can keep him, he continue to grow and play like this. And you add Spencer Dinwiddie, you can go small. You have wing defenders. Maybe the only thing you might need to add is a shot blocker, lob threat, or something like that. But I think for the way Luka plays the game of basketball, the Dallas Mavericks have done a good job of giving him everything that he needs to win games.
That's a strong point. So basically, you're saying people just kind of more overlook into the names instead of more like what caters to their style of basketball and what can
Yes,
maximize the player the most.
yes,
Instead of like, this is maximize this player, and this player is so good. If you maximize him, you can go around and beat anybody. That's pretty
exactly.
much what you're saying, right? And
Yeah,
that makes sense. I get what you're saying. Like that makes a lot of sense. People they get caught, they get lost in the
in the
names, and they look at
names, in the names.
the name. Yeah, but that because like pretty much like I said, if you maximize Luka, no telling where the hell he might take you. This the way he played basketball, as good as he controls the game, as good as he scores the ball, as good as he finds his other teammates, as good as he literally does everything on the basketball court. I mean, the sky's the limit. If you maximize Luka, like we might see it this year. No telling. Like,
You may see
shout out to
like
Mark
again.
Cuban.
Go ahead. Yeah, if they win this series, I just would not be shocked, especially with what I've seen from the Warriors. Like I said, so far in the playoffs, they have not looked like world beaters outside of like the Denver series, and the Denver whole team was hurt. They haven't looked like world beaters. And I think Gary Payton III still being hurt might prove to be big for the series. I think he's a guy that could definitely at least be another added body for Luka, or not even for Luka, Jalen Brunson, for another added body for Jalen Brunson, another added body for Spencer. Oh, seriously, another added body for Spencer Dinwiddie. I think a guy like him being hurt during this series, it'll be something I think people might ignore, but it could be something that proves to be big.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of offense in this series for sure.
Yes, which is it should be a very we
A
should get a
lot of
couple 130 scores in
A lot
this
of
series.
Draymond is really gonna have to show his ass this. Draymond is gonna have to show out this year. I think this is a perfect moment for Draymond if he still has it in him. If he's anywhere near like they said a top 15, top 20, this is when he has to show it right here. This series, I feel like he's really the outlier right here. Draymond, you got to be aggressive. You got to make the right pass. You can't be turning the fucking ball over,
You
Draymond.
can't be turning the ball over. You can't be turning
Can't
the
be
ball
turning the
over.
ball, especially if he's gonna have the ball in his hands as much as he will, because Dallas is gonna get the ball out of Steph's hands. He's gonna have the ball in it. It's gonna be on Draymond. You got to be aggressive. You got to make the right passes. You got to be able to finish around the rim. You got to just be able to do Draymond facilitator type things. You got to be able to make an open three too. Like Draymond, this is on. I feel like I'm putting this series on him because he like the Dallas has guys that can do kind of what Poole do. Obviously, Dallas ain't got nobody who can really replicate what Draymond Green can do on the court. So that's why I feel like if he brings what Draymond Green brings to the table, the Warriors should be able to handle them in 6 or 7 without a doubt. But let's see if he comes to the table. He should experience as he is, as successful as he's been. Um, we'll see. But I'm gonna pin this on him. I'm watching a lot of. I'm watching Draymond very closely this series.
Now, two things also with that. One thing I'm also with about Draymond is because I'm wondering who do you stick Luka on?
On
Right. I think,
defense,
I think like the thing about, I know at first I was like, oh, you can stick him on Draymond. The thing about Draymond is if you put him on Draymond, he's going to be moving around a lot. And the thing about, in the previous other series is they can stick him on Rudy, and Rudy is obviously not going to move around. He's not even really trying to score like that. So like you can basically rest him. And even with the Suns, like, you can just throw him on, like you can just throw him on Cam. You can just throw him on Mikhail. You can just throw him on Aiden. And these guys aren't going out there trying to give you 30. They're just waiting for the ball to get swung to them. Even the crowd, they're just waiting for the ball to get swung to them. Think about Draymond is even though the fact that he's not going out there trying to give you 30, he's still very, very active. It takes energy to guard him. But that's one thing, and also I'm looking for. And would I be out crazy? Would I be crazy to say Maxi Kleber could match Draymond Green?
Where you get the
would I be crazy? No, would I be would it be crazy to say that?
You kind of just want to get the opposite because I said like the Mavericks don't have anybody who can offset who can do what Draymond does. Maxi Kleber cannot do what Draymond Green does on the basketball court.
He can't do what he can't do what he does, but Maxi Kleber for some weird ass reason can offer solid rim protection. It's not great, but he can offer some type of resistance at the rim. And if he gets hot, I mean, do you remember what he was doing? I think was it the Utah series when he hit like fucking 10 of 10 for 3?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I'm just Maxi Kleber is a guy that you can't just leave or just forget about on the team. You can't.
That's right. But offsetting Draymond is crazy though.
Look, listen. Again, I know we going off names, and again, I could be wrong. But when I look at this matchup, judging based off the way the Warriors have played the game of basketball so far in these playoffs, I don't think it's crazy to say that this is a very, 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 very even matchup, especially if Luka is who I think he is and is the best player on the court. But moving along, I want to give number one you the time to talk about your mans. I know I don't have it up here, but I want to give you time to talk about your man, Jason Tatum, because look, I still think over the totality of the playoffs, Al Horford has been stopped. No, ain't no stop. Al Horford has been the best Celtic over the totality of the playoffs for the Boston Celtics. But I do want to give Jason. But no, listen, I do want to give Jason Tatum credit for Game 6 and Game 7, especially Game 7, because Giannis was trying to say yes, and Tatum was saying no, absolutely not. You are going home today.
He was hitting threes over Giannis' outstretched hands. That's top tier shot making at its great. And that's what you need in these in order to win. That's shot making at its finest. And not to mention, obviously, he has the height and the length to be a heck of a defender, and he can dribble the ball. He can get to the lane. He can rise over you when he gets into the lane. And he's dominating on all levels. That's what Al Horford has a defense. He'll open three every once in a while. But he's just not. He's not.
Haven't seen Al Horford in the playoffs, bro. It's not. We went through the numbers last time. It's actually crazy what Al Horford is doing. It's actually crazy the way Al Horford is balling on him right now. It's crazy.
He really turned back. He almost damn near better than he was.
Yeah, I've never seen him play like this before. I've watched Al Horford play since Florida when him and Joakim Noah went, if I'm not mistaken, back to back in Florida. I've never seen this man look like this.
You're right, man. But yeah, the Celtics have a heck of a team. They are very well coached, well disciplined, and they have shot makers and they have defenders. They pretty much got the whole everything, and that's why I kind of think this series is going to be insanity because Miami can say the same thing about them. Well coached, they got defenders, they got a leader, they got shooters. I think the difference maker is just going to be pretty much. I think you got Horford is obviously on this insane level. I don't know. You got the green arrows up on 2K, like a +10 on his overall for this run. But he's coming off. He's getting a huge. Damn is no slouch. Don't get me wrong. But from going from having to guard Giannis for 7 games, it's oh wow, it's a huge birthday. It's his workload just got even less. So it's just far fetched to say we expect him to even be able to perform even better in this series. Like, I mean, he's been playing outstanding. So I mean, between Horford, Tatum, Brown, and these guys, I gotta go with them in this series. And also, one reason why I'm picking the Celtics is because the Heat beat them in 2020 on their way to the finals. And teams don't forget stuff like that. If you play basketball, you don't forget stuff like that. You play somebody in a one-on-one,
That was
and they
Kemba
beat you that
Walker's
first
fault, by the
game.
way. That was
You,
that was 1000% Kemba Walker. G. He made Tyler Hero look like the second coming of Chris
he
Mullin.
was torturing Marcus Smart
He
too,
made
though. He was torturing
yeah,
Smart.
but the Kemba Walker thing, G, they kept finding Kemba Walker. And Kemba Walker was
Help
not
his ass
giving
out,
you
Steven.
and Kemba Walker was not giving you enough offensively to be getting found the way he was getting found on the court in the bubble.
That's fair. But yeah, they beat them in the bubble. Teams don't forget stuff like this. It's like when you play basketball, you lose to a team as a team, you want to, and you circle that match at the next game. Somebody beat you in one-on-one, you're not going to probably lose the next time. So I just can't see, especially these guys, as competitive as they are, in the fire that they have, you're not going to lose to this team twice back to back because that's kind of like some sun in you. Like, I'm really better than you. If we beat you in the series in the conference finals twice, we really better than you. Like, we own you. And I don't think the Celtics is gonna go out like that. I think that's also gonna play a huge factor in the series. Just that grudge that you hold from losing to a team already, especially a team that's somewhat pretty much evenly matched to what you are. So I expect the Celtics to go out there and get them. It's not gonna be easy though. It's gonna take 6 or 7. I'm gonna go. Who has Miami? Definitely has home court, right?
Miami has home court. Which I'm angry about, bro, because
What's up?
I wanted to go to a fucking game, but they not gonna be there at the same time that I'm gonna be there.
Oh, that's right.
Very
Damn.
angry about that. Very, 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 very angry about that.
What you going? Around 3 and 4? Is that when you going?
Nah, it's, yeah. It'll be
Oh,
in
okay.
Boston when I'm So I'm
Oh,
very angry about that. I really
damn.
want
Yeah,
to check out.
that would have been lit as
I really
hell.
want to check out the American Airlines Arena and actually see what the vibe is like inside. But whatever, one day. But no. I'm with you. We actually agree on this. I'm with Celtics in 6. I don't think either team has a great offense. I think, but I trust Boston's offense more than I trust Miami's offense. I trust in the final minutes of a game, like final 2 minutes of a game, I trust Boston to be able to get a bucket over me trusting Miami to be able to get a bucket. And also, Boston's been the best team in the NBA since 2022. Like, they just have. I think they've been with the number one defense. I don't know what they've been on offense, but it can't be that low. Even though, even though I'm saying I don't trust them because I don't think their offense is like some like world bending offense. I do think that they take a lot of. They just swing the ball around and shoot threes sometimes.
It's a lot of modern shots.
Yeah, but they just swing the ball around, and the people who probably shouldn't be shooting the threes are shooting the threes. I see too many possessions in with a Marcus Smart shot attempt. I love
But you
Marcus Smart, but he shouldn't be. Also, I think Marcus Smart is questionable for game 1, but
yeah,
Marcus
he is.
Smart
He's
being
still
hurt doesn't really concern me too much. And I think for them, as far as for the Celtics, I think the physical beating that they took against the Bucks won't be there for the Heat. Giannis had everybody getting hurt damn near. Every game he had every game somebody came over with some type of ailment trying to guard Giannis. I don't think the
Giannis
same level.
basketball is different.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
really
think the same level of I
with
want to
energy.
say no, I know it's not energy, physical abuse.
Oh,
or physical or the same level of attrition will be there from the Heat. I think offensively they play a very finesse style. It's not a real like power offense, if that makes any sense. It's not real like Bam. I like Bam, but Bam is still like offensively kind of like finesse. He's not out there trying to charge over you and dunk on you and things like that. Like Giannis
every
is
once in a
trying.
while, yeah.
Giannis is I'm trying
Possession,
to get to the rim.
it's
And
like the only thing standing between you and the rim is him, and he got to get through.
I'm getting to the rim. And if you're in the way, God bless. If you're in the way and the refs don't call a charge, God bless.
I'm throwing
God
bowls. I'm
bless.
throwing my head. I'm getting to that rim. I don't care who there. You gonna flop if you going. Whatever gonna happen, gonna happen. But I'm getting to the rim. And that's
God
why
bless.
Horford is like Superman for his last for his performance on Giannis. Even though, like we said, Giannis got the numbers, but like it was a lot of possessions where he stood up strong right there, and Giannis missed the leg, and he got the rebound. So it was just like Superman Horford. Shout out to him.
Superman
But
Horford.
he took that. Horford was like Superman in that last series. But Yeah, that beating definitely, and they go from that pretty much like you said, a lot more finesse team. Tyler Rowe will shoot a lot of threes. A lot of more max stress. A lot of teams just gonna swing the ball around and not really just try to drill you from the inside like that.
I can definitely agree
Boston
with
just
this.
gets the
Mr.
bus
Marshall
man.
said Boston fits with the Bullet Man. For sure. I can definitely agree with that. And also, but yeah, I'm going Celtics in 6, and I would love to see a Celtics Mavericks finals. And I think it would be a great for first of all, it'd be great to see Boston back in the finals, legendary NBA team.
Hell
Um,
no.
I mean, I feel you, but they're a legendary NBA team. Like
Yeah,
when you think
definitely.
about
Yeah.
NBA basketball, you think about the Lakers and you think about the Celtics. Basketball is better when the Celtics are good and are a good elite team. They just are. It's like when the Knicks are good, basketball is better. When the Lakers are good, basketball is better. So I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, the Celtics. I'm going with them.
Okay. Moving along, last thing I want to talk about today, unless we have anything random to talk about, is there has been a report. I don't know
Oh
how true this
god.
is. I don't know how true this is, but I've seen it come across the timeline. I saw one report a little while ago. Again, you cannot get away from Los Angeles Lakers. I've seen one report a little while ago. I saw one today that said the Lakers are asking coaches how would they use Russell Westbrook. Um, what do you if this summer ends and Russell Westbrook is still a part of the Los Angeles Lakers? What do you think about that? Would you be mad? Would you be upset? Are you okay with it? How would you feel about that?
I mean, I guess it was suck. I guess. I mean, but I mean, this is like last year, like you said, team was scrambled with injuries, and I mean, Westbrook, like I know it's only 1 year left on his contract, but I mean, if you can't get nothing back for him, you might as well keep him. I mean, you wanted him here in the first place. Your star players wanted him here, so I mean, if you got to bring him back the next season because you can't get rid of him, then so be it. Make a couple roster. They got to make a couple roster adjustments. Obviously, maybe bring in some more shooting, bring some defenders, please. Somebody who can guard somebody, please. Um, but if he ends up coming back, and it is what it is, they're gonna have to figure it out. I mean, because the only reason why I see why they keep him back is because why they would bring him back is if they can't get something decent for him. And if you can't get anything decent for him, it's not worth trading for. Like I don't want John Wall. John Wall is very fragile. He played
There's
when
been a
last time
report
he
that the Clippers allegedly there's been a
yeah.
report the Clippers are looking at
I
John
saw
Wall, which
yeah, but I don't. Lakers shouldn't want anything to do with John Wall. Last time he was healthy, last time not well. Last time he played, he was out every other game with some sort of injury or just resting. He isn't no. Westbrook played damn near all but like 1 or 2 games last season. That's phenomenal alone right there. He led the team in a lot of statistical
he
categories last
leads in a lot
season.
of categories. People don't realize that he did.
And every
He did.
look, I get in the barbershop, work, anywhere I go, I get killed in public when every time I say Westbrook didn't wasn't that bad last year. Like
He wasn't that bad.
the whole room will stop and look at me like I'm crazy. And they be
He
like,
wasn't that bad.
but he was not that bad this
If you
last year.
pull up the numbers, he literally did the same thing he did the year before in Washington, except for he took less shots.
Exactly. So I mean, like, it's just like if you feel like you can bring it back, and obviously, like, just you got to change something. You got to be if they're healthy. You make a couple small roster tweaks, bring in some more shooters, bring in some guys who can actually defend around this core, and you got to run it back for another year. And that's what you got to do. I don't think it's the end of the world. As or because Westbrook is simple. Only thing, I don't know if he can repair his relationship with the fans. And they don't be on that BS they was on last year, knocking his family and calling them all them out of his name 24/7 just for going out there and hooping. Then it's something I wouldn't be too like mad about. It's just kind of the reality of it. I mean, I'm not gonna be too bummed out about it. It is what it is. Y'all, the front office made this move to bring Westbrook in, knowing he had such a bad contract. Knowing if it did go wrong, he'd be hard to get rid of. They knew all this before he got there, knowing he was aging, knowing he isn't in his prime. So if you got to stick with your decisions. You made the decision. Now you got to thug it out until it's over with. So Westbrook gets a Laker next year. It is what it is. I'm still gonna watch every game. I'm pretty sure this dude's still gonna be at every other
Oh
game.
yeah, I'm going. I'm going. I'm in there.
I'm pretty sure they're still gonna sell out. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like LeBron's been saying, they're supposed to. And AD, they had a very disappointing season last year. Maybe if anything, they can learn from what a disaster last year was. Maybe watch a lot of film, like a lot of film, like a lot of film on last year, and and don't do that shit again. Then we could possibly be talking about something here. But I mean, if we bring him back, it is what it is. Like it's just That contract not easy to get rid of. If you don't feel like you can get what you want for him, bring it back. Let's see what happens.
All right, so here's my thing about Russell Westbrook. One, from the Lakers' perspective, right? All right, so you have a guy who has 1 year left with $47 million. That means you get $47 million in cap space at the end of the season. Who doesn't want $47 million in cap space? Especially when you look at, obviously, look, LeBron James, my favorite player of all time. Let's be realistic. He can't be here forever. He can't. He can't be here forever. Anthony Davis has not yet shown you that even if LeBron James does, leave basketball, go do what he wants to do outside of basketball, has not yet shown you that he can hold up a franchise, especially like the Los Angeles Lakers. You have seen no evidence of, you didn't see evidence of it in New Orleans. And New Orleans wasn't that damn bad. That team wasn't that bad. Now, granted, obviously the year that they did have a chance, Boogie got hurt, but we got to remember who DeMarcus Cousins was before. What you mean?
I said AD was cold, but I said the West was just real tough back.
Yeah, but hold on. Yeah, I feel you. But it wasn't like you can't make the
great.
playoff. I feel you, but it wasn't you can't make the playoffs tough.
He was making them just getting. What you mean? The Warriors beating up on him in the playoffs every time they got there.
No, that happened the first year. That was 1 year. Then they didn't get back for like 3 more years. Then they beat the hell out Portland when Drew Holiday put on a masterclass on Damian Lillard. So all I'm saying is, like, you have not yet seen evidence that Anthony Davis, one, is going to be healthy enough to lead you, and two, can lead you into the future. I don't want to attach all my picks. Who knows? My 2027, like the draft lottery is tonight. Don't the Pelicans have a lottery pick? Because it's the Lakers. They have a lottery pick.
Count was tweeting trash about it.
Yeah, they have a lottery pick. Like, I don't want to trade my 2027, 2000. What if it's a situation in which I have to, let's say the Pacers thing is where, smoke there's fire. Malcolm Brogdon, we get Buddy Hield, whoever the hell else. We trade Russell Westbrook and we trade the 2027, 2028 pick, and it's the first pick in the draft.
That'd be very sad if it was a first.
I don't like, as the Lakers as a team, you have to protect your future. So again, I think letting him play his contract out, and getting $47 million in cap, because again, this summer, like, their books, I think LeBron at $40 million. I don't know what AD making.
Yeah, and around 30 something. Yeah,
I think the cap is only like 127, 130. That's basically your whole cap right there. Like, you don't really have much else for the most part. And again, I'll say this for the 1,001 millionth time, I do want to answer this, actually, because that's actually low-key wild, the fact that these teams would be at a third finals. But but one thing about the Lakers is, again, we never actually saw the team that they signed actually get on the court for any extended period of time. Kendrick Nunn, who they obviously thought was going to be a big part of this team because they gave him a mid-level exception, did not play the entire season. Anthony Davis, I know what I just said about Anthony Davis. It's still Anthony Davis. Played 30 games. LeBron James missed like 30, 40 games. Exactly. So the team that they signed never actually got on the court to play the game of basketball. And again, for the Lakers, you just can't keep shuffling people every year, bro. Like, you just can't keep shuffling your whole team out every year.
Exactly. I agree with that.
You have to have some type of consistent camaraderie.
The only way you can build chemistry.
It's the only way that you can build chemistry. And again, even with the coaching search, I just hope that they bring in a coach that knows how to coach offense. I mean, you have you have one of the greatest offensive players of all time in LeBron James, and you have Russell Westbrook, who, I mean, in his prime was one of the best offensive players in the league. I think Anthony Davis is better defensively than he is offensively, but he's still a very good offensive player as well. You need to bring in somebody who can make this work. Frank Vogel, throughout his whole time as Frank Vogel, has clearly been a defensive coach. Clearly. Then all his toppers, like Jason Kidd, guys like that, toppers are gone. So you take a team that you have to figure out how to make a offense work with two players, you kind of the same player, who are both, quote unquote, past their primes. And he couldn't do that. So I'm happy that they are at least trying to find a coach who has thoughts about incorporating all of that. And one thing about Russell Westbrook is, at the very least, he's gonna come in and he's gonna be in shape. Russell Westbrook at 33 years old isn't like, hate to do it, but James Harden at 33 years old. James Harden, I don't know what the hell he gonna look like next year. I have zero idea. It could be his hamstring injury that like or that is hampering him, or he may just have lost a huge step. Also, what is his body going to be like next year? Russell Westbrook, I'm never concerned about that man keeping himself in shape and going out there and playing basketball ever. So, again, I get it from both sides, and also from like Russ's side, you can't keep getting traded every year, bro. Like you can't, nah, for real. Like you can't keep getting traded every year. Like, I mean, even just from a family standpoint, you trying to find somewhere for your kids to go to school. You trying to find somewhere to live. Obviously, he's more so in his 30s. Like I don't know, how old his kids are. I don't if they're school age. But getting traded every single year is just tough on you. It's just tough on you all around, basketball wise and family wise. So for him, I can understand why you would want to stay. And I can understand from the Lakers standpoint of why they would want to keep you. Like you said, this is the team y'all built, bro. This is the bed you laid in. It's going to be very hard. First of all, it's going to be very hard to find somebody else who's better at basketball than Russell Westbrook. For Russell Westbrook money, like Russell Westbrook getting paid superstar.
You said hard. It's impossible.
You're not gonna find nobody in any deal you get that's better than Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. And if you do, even if you let's say you go out there and you get shooting, fine. So you want LeBron James at 38, 39 years old to be playing down here from 26 feet away, trying to get the ball to shooters, and you want him to stay healthy and on the court?
I mean, well, isn't that LeBron? That's his play style. Like, don't you got to? What you mean?
Yeah, but you're 38, 39 years old, bro.
What you gonna do with him?
If you play like that, he's going to consistently get hurt and play 40 to 50 games, possibly 60 games every single year.
You don't have to throw him in the mid post? As long as you're not using him at the 5, how we did last year, we should be
Put
all
him
right.
at the 4. Do something. But again, like I'm just saying, but my point being, you need somebody else to take the load off of LeBron James when it comes to getting the rest of the team involved. And again, I still think Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook can at least be a solid dude. I mean, you saw evidence of it. I mean, even game when when Isaiah Stewart wanted to fold up LeBron. Like when they fell down, Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis came back and brought the team back, and they seem to be a very, very solid duo when they're together. I mean, I look at what Russell Westbrook had done with Steven Adams and Daniel Gafford and guys like that. So again, I get it from both sides and both standpoints. Couple last things before we get out of here. The draft lottery is tonight. Any comments about the draft lottery? Who do you hope? What team do you hope gets a number 1 pick? And who do you hope goes number 1?
Number 1 pick, I'm hoping the number 1 pick gets to Portland, just so Dan can get some immediate help.
Facts.
Fire to see Damian Lillard be next to a number 1 pick.
What's the odds, actually?
Let
me look. NBA draft lottery odds. What are the odds? Okay, here you go. NBA draft lottery odds. So Houston, Orlando, and Detroit have a 14% chance to get the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City has a basically 12.5% chance. Indiana 10.5%. Portland 9%. Sacramento 7.5%. The Los Angeles Lakers have a 6%. You know how funny it would be the Lakers get the number 1 pick? I would fall out. Lakers have a 6% chance to get the number 1 pick. The Lakers, as in it goes to New Orleans, Sacramento, or does it go to? No, it's either. No, it's either conveyed to New Orleans or to Memphis. I think depending on where it falls. Where it falls. The Spurs have a 4.5% chance. Washington 3%. New York 2%. Clippers to OKC 1.5%. Charlotte 1%, and Cleveland 50%, with less than 0.5% chance. So Portland has a 9% chance. Yeah, I would like to see Portland get it, or at least something close up there, maybe like a 3rd pick. I would love to see if Portland could get like a Jabari Smith I think
Yeah,
that would be
Jabari
a
Smith is
great.
nice.
I think Jabbar would be a great plug and play guy for them. Immediately, I don't think Jabbar would be a superstar, but I think he would be a great plug and play guy for them. Just even when I look at what Portland like, look, they still have Anthony Simons. I think they got to re-sign him, but they still have Anthony Simons, Damian Lillard. I think he still has at least one or two or maybe three like really good years left. Josh Hart's a pickup who I love. They also have some cap room this summer. I think they'll have like 40 to 50 million in cap room. Now, granted, this free agent class isn't great, but I do think that you can at least get some guys in there to at least get back and have something to say in the Western Conference next year. But
Mhm.
one last question I'm gonna ask you: who would you pick number one?
Who would I pick number one
Or
in the
does it
entire draft?
depend on who gets the number one pick? Or is there anybody that you like, regardless who
I
gets this, I'm picking them.
I definitely think it's no like it's not like a Zion or a LeBron or like a Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis. I'm not seeing that type of guy in this draft. So I definitely think it does kind of depend on who gets the first round, gets the first pick. But who would I take first if I had the first pick just on some like randomly? I don't know. I kind of like Chet Holmgren.
I feel you.
He's tall, can shoot the heck out the ball. He kind of reminds me of Porzingis a little bit. Um, he has the length. He only obviously everybody's saying he needs to buck up a bit, but if he plays the four, you're probably not gonna have to buck up that much. You're gonna be going against guys like smaller frame guys, like a lot of guys play the four, like Mikal Bridges, Crowder's a four, Finney Smith plays the four a lot. Um, he'll have a huge advantage over those guys because he have a huge height advantage. He'll be great at contesting threes, contesting a lot of threes that go up nowadays. He can finish strong at the rim. He got a couple moves at the rim, space the floor. Great. He'd be a great high screen and roll guy for with Damian Lillard. That'd be very fun to watch off the rip. But I think he's probably my favorite prospect off the rip that I can think of just because of his height, his combination of height, shot blocking, and skill. So that's pretty much. I think that's what I'm gonna go with for my number one if I had to pick a dude. I like Banchero as well, and like you said, Jabari Smith because I think he can defend a little bit. I think that's what separates him from
Yeah.
Banchero. Um, but yeah, those are the guys I really like the most. Honestly, who'd you go with?
It depends. If I'm,
Same.
let's say Detroit, let's say if I'm Oklahoma City, maybe even if I'm Houston, I would pick Chet. Just because I think there's a lot of boom or bust there. But if it hits, it really hits. I mean, you can't teach what he's 7'1", 7'2".
Mm-hmm.
I do worry about injury. I think with any of those 7 foot prospects, you got to worry about injury. Like it's very hard to play,
Yeah.
12, 13, 14 years, just like at that size, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
on your bones. But if I'm a team like Detroit and I have Cade and I have a Killian Hayes, and I have a Bagley who I would assume that they would, throw some bread to this season. I have Jeremy Grant. I would pick Chet. Like, why not? Why not pair Chet and Cade and just see what happens? If I'm Oklahoma City Thunder, like when I look at their roster, that you have Shea and you have Josh Giddey, why not pick a Chet? I think if you're a team like Portland, I think you want something that's more so ready to go right now. But I also understand why you would pick Chet because of the Pacific Northwest. Like he played at Gonzaga. You're in Portland, Oregon, not that far of a distance. So I can understand why you would do that. I just may think you want a more plug and play guy right now. But I think it just depends on who you are. But I think Chet has the most potential out of this draft. Just when you look at measurables, like I said, you can't teach 7 feet. So
He's only weighs 195 according to this though. That's insane.
yeah,
I weigh
but
I weigh 195.
yeah, facts, facts,
And I'm
facts.
a whole foot taller than me.
Yeah, facts.
That's insane, dude.
So again, we'll see. I think it will be fun to see who gets the number one pick. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get out of here, Joe. Get your plug in, tell the people where they could find you at.
What's good, man? Another great episode, y'all. Follow me on Twitter at the Jolts with two S's, JLLTSS. Get me on the gram, East Ghost with a zero.
And as always, man, follow me on Twitter at Pavy World, PAVY World, all one word. I will be going on vacation for my birthday soon, so we will not have any in-person episodes for a second, but we will have some episodes for sure. So yeah, man, as always, thank y'all for watching, appreciate it, and we'll holler at you next time.